Welcome to another edition of the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Raymond Wu. Do you like movies? I certainly do. And in recent years, we have seen a number of young directors rising to prominence in Taiwan's film industry. And on today's program, we're delighted to have Mr. Shu-Yu Lin, who is a young director that had just won the 45th Golden Horse Film Festival for Best Original Screenplay. Welcome to the program, Tom.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, Tom, I'm going to start off with a wow.
Okay.
Because, your boyish look, your young age.
Thank you.
Certainly you don't expect, that from somebody, at your age and, done so well in your, film production.
Thank you.
Is this the
so
first
much.
feature film? Yeah,
it's my first feature film.
Yeah, and would you mind sharing with us a little bit about your experience from assistant director to director in Taiwan's film industry?
Oh yeah, sure. I came back from the United States. I went to grad school there,
okay.
Cal Arts.
Okay.
And I came back in 2002.
Okay.
So that's when I started working as a first assistant director for other directors.
Okay.
And it's all through word of mouth.
Okay.
That's how it works in the Taiwanese film industry.
Okay.
There is no place where you send a resume and they pick you up for a job. No, it's all through word of mouth. So I was lucky enough to have a friend who dropped out of a production.
Okay.
And so she needed somebody to fill that spot.
Okay.
So I was lucky.
Okay.
So at first I was lucky to get a job.
Okay.
And so I've been working as first assistant director for a bunch of directors in Taiwan.
Okay.
There's Zheng Wentang, there's Cai Mingliang.
Okay.
And then I went on to work for some directors that are close to my age.
Okay.
There's Zhou Meiling, who made Spider Lilies.
Okay.
And there's Zheng Youjie, who made Do Over. So, I've been working in the industry for about 4 or 5 years before I finally got a shot to make my own first feature.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I suppose in 2002, when you made the adjustment, you had to do it, with a double adjustment in the sense that first, it was your, the first experience in film production after school.
Yeah.
And second, this is Taiwan. This is not the U.S.
No.
So how did you find that transition process, work for you? I mean, what were the difficulties that you had to make the adjustments?
Well, I mean, I'm a pretty quick learner, so that was okay. But the biggest adjustment, I guess, in Taiwan is that the first thing you have to know about the Taiwanese film industry is that there is no industry.
Okay.
There is no industry per se. There is no big company producing all these movies. No.
Okay.
So it's a whole bunch of...
It's not like Hollywood.
No, it's not like Hollywood at all. So it's a whole bunch of independent little companies making their own films.
Okay.
And because of the recent, for the past 10, 20 years, the Taiwanese film's box office has been going down very badly. And so these years, we have a bunch of, workers who left the film industry and went to work in either commercial or television because there's better money there.
Yes.
And so the people who are left, of course, have passion, but at the same time, you don't see a sense of the professionalism that you see in Hollywood, where, just the fact that my graduate thesis film, when I shot it in the United States, even though it's a student film, we were working like it was a union film, because everybody that was on set, from the gaffers to the technicians, everybody worked through the rules of their union.
Okay.
And so you don't see that here in Taiwan. And so there's a whole lot of the people who are working are not as professional, and so there's a whole bunch of emotions involved, especially Asian people.
That's right.
Asian people, we have a whole bunch of emotions, and what do you call it, kimochi or something like that? Yeah. So that comes into a lot of the production aspect, because that's some of the problems that we have on set, which is something that you don't see in a Western production.
No.
Usually everybody
it's
a lot more professional. I'm just here to do my job, and I'm here to do my job right. And if you go overtime, just pay me. It's okay. And if you're not going to pay me, then I go home. It's very simple for them. Here, it's not like that, because here everybody, they call it overtime, underpaid, and sometimes the job might just break your heart. So that's what it's sort of like in the Taiwanese industry. And that was the part, the emotional part, that I had to get used to.
Okay. Yeah. But for the past 5 or 6 years since coming back, you need to have a lot of passion to keep yourself, going and devoted
Yeah.
to this line of work.
Yes, of course.
How did you, develop that passion, or did you have it all along and you just, keep it coming?
Well, I guess two things. I mean, one, of course, I had a lot of passion for this job.
Yeah,
and
for filmmaking.
For filmmaking, and not just like for either writing or directing or anything like that, but it's just filmmaking in general.
Yeah, getting involved in the production.
Yeah, getting involved in the production, because I remember quite vividly, I was working on the Tai Ming Liang set of A Wayward Cloud.
Okay.
And it was like 3 in the morning, and we're doing the exterior shot on this little bridge over a river.
Okay.
And I was looking up because, the lighting people were doing the lights, and the camera people were doing the camera, stuff like that. And I was just, overseeing if everybody was doing their job, if we're on schedule. And I was looking up, and all around us were like these buildings. These residential buildings everywhere. Residential buildings, all these little windows. And then it just occurred to me, because it's 3 in the morning, like 3 more hours, like all these people are going to get up, put on a suit, get on a bus or something, and go to work, and they might not like their work or whatever, stuff like that.
But they keep doing it. Yeah.
And they keep doing it. And I'm standing here, I'm having a cigarette, I'm talking to these people, and this is my job. Somebody's paying me to do this.
Okay.
How lucky can a guy get?
Yeah.
And I think that was the moment where I really, truly knew that I enjoyed this line of work.
Okay.
And the second thing is I live cheap. So that's a plus.
Okay,
yeah.
Of course.
So, I mean, I don't have a car, I don't have a house, so I live relatively cheaply,
Okay.
I don't buy expensive clothes,
Okay.
and so it's easy for me to
Make ends meet.
Make ends meet, stay alive,
Yeah, okay.
So I think those two things kept me going until recently, until now,
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your recent work.
Okay.
The Winds of
Winds of September, yes.
Yes. And this is a film, of course, won the best original screenplay
yes.
at the Golden Horse Award.
Yes.
And would you mind telling us a little bit that you are both involved in the directing of the film and also in the writing?
Yes.
And how was that experience? And did you like the overall production at the end?
Well, the Winds of September, I mean, it started because it's a semi-autobiographical story.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I wrote it, of course, in mind that I'm going to direct it. It's not meant for anybody else to direct.
Okay.
And so, I guess, I mean, the entire process, you can actually call it a dream come true. Because a coming-of-age movie was okay, let me go back a little bit. Let me go back all the way to my junior high school year.
Okay.
In junior high, I watched a movie called The Brighter Summer Day, directed by Edward Yang, 孤岭街少年杀人事件.
Okay, all right.
That movie affected me a lot. That movie made me want to pursue filmmaking.
Okay.
That movie made me want to understand filmmaking, want to know all the behind the scenes.
Want to be a part of it. Yeah.
I want to be a part of it. And so for a first feature to actually be a coming-of-age movie about my generation, not the generation, of course, of Edward Yang, but my generation, was very fulfilling. And the fact that I was actually able to make it, and somebody was able to put up the money to finance the movie, and what came out was actually quite, well, to me, quite good. Our box office was pretty good. I think we broke even.
Yes.
Breaking even is a big thing in Taiwan.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I think we broke even. Then we went on to a lot of international film festival, which I didn't see coming because I just made the film for a local audience. I did not know that we were going to be, invited to Tokyo, to Greece, to Toronto, all these places. So very overwhelming.
When did the production first begin for Winds of September? 2005, 2006?
The production, pre-production started at the end of 2006.
Okay.
We started doing casting at the end of 2006, and we casted for about 4 months before we got the entire cast together.
The right people. Yes.
Yeah. So we shot in the summer of 2007. And we finished in 2008.
Okay.
Yeah.
This production truly has an international flavor to it. Because you have, one of your sponsor of, financial supporter is from Hong Kong.
Yes.
Yeah, and also the crew is from Taiwan.
Yeah.
Most of the cast is from Taiwan.
Yes.
But yourself is sort of like a U.S.-Taiwan byproduct. So it's truly got that international flair, flavor to it. How did you like working in a more international, team, more, with people coming from different backgrounds and different cultures?
Well, I mean, we got some very positive feedbacks from Hong Kong, from my producer in Hong Kong, Eric Zen.
Yes.
But mainly, this production was actually very Taiwanese. I mean, it was all Taiwanese cast, like you said.
Yeah.
And because I was drawing, especially with Winds of September, this coming-of-age story, I was actually drawing from my Taiwanese side of growing up. And I mean, because I like to joke about it, because I could go back to my high school days and I could make an entirely different high school movie based on my
experience in the States.
Based on not my experience in the States, but my experience in Hsinchu at the bilingual department, because there's a science-based industrial park
exactly.
there. Yeah. So, because I had two kinds of friends there. I had one kind of friends who were American-born Chinese.
Of course.
Those people, we grow up, watching The Simpsons, and we grow up, driving Daddy's car out on, on the weekends, whatever, stuff like that. But at the same time, I was hanging out with my Taiwanese friends. And so I was sort of living a split personality back in high school. But I chose to shoot the Taiwanese experience.
Yes.
Because, of course, this film was meant for the Taiwanese audience, the Taiwanese public.
Yes.
And so I wanted a story that would garner
That's probably more unique in a sense also. And when we come back after a short break on Taiwan Outlook, we're going to continue our conversation with Tom. We're going to ask him about his, whole overall experience in terms of making the film Winds of September. We'll be right back.